Good morning, everyone. And it's really great to meet all the industry leaders, the thought leaders across all the industries and of the entire ecosystem. And thank you, CVF, for bringing us all together under the single roof. And CVF has been truly the compass pointing towards the direction where the industry is heading to. Being back here in 2026, it is again more evident that that particular direction has been changing constantly, and we will have to be on top of that. Let me juggle your memory a little bit. If we go back, cast our minds back to 2023, during that time, we were talking about ADAS and driving behavior monitoring system and solutions like this, whether these are viable for Indian market. The questions was majorly on whether part of it, whether it will be able to cope with the chaotic situation of Indian traffic and everything, whether it would be able to sustain the harsh conditions of Indian environment, let it be in the mining or on the on-road situations. Now, coming back to 2026, that particular question have transitioned to, the debate has been transitioned to not whether, rather how and when. How and when we can deploy these kind of solutions effectively. And since we have already in that particular journey, then we are having next level of problems, such as we are generating enormous data, but what to do with it? How can we exactly get the more insights and it could be more useful and we can use more effectively? So that is the topic of discussion today. Let me first go through where we are at in terms of different safety and incident scenarios. In 1 year, unfortunately, there would be more than 150,000 accidents, and commercial vehicles would be majorly involved. I won't say contributor, but commercial vehicle would be majorly involved in these kind of incidents, and they have a very high proportion. So let's say in case of there is an accident, by default, the blame goes to the larger vehicle driver. There can be two scenarios. Either the driver is at fault or it is not the mistake of the driver. So in case the mistake is not of the driver, then how we can exonerate the driver then and there without having to going back to the server and extract multiple data points and so on. That is one part. Second part is, if the driver is at fault, there has been some mistake, how we can prevent it, how we can stop an accident even before it occurs. That is the talk of the story. So in this particular situation, what we have done so far, let me provide two different scenarios over here. In the top video that we are going to see, that is typically a CCTV kind of solution that some of the industry, some of the fleets have already installed, where this is not a preventive solution, rather it is kind of a post-mortem. So in this particular video, you can clearly see the driver is feeling drowsy and yet driving the vehicle. There was no alert to him from the system and the driver collided. Had there been an alert, probably this particular incident could have been saved. Let's see how it happens in the second video, which is where the driver got an alert, the driver was busy on the phone, the driver got an alert, and he was able to save the vehicle and the auto in front. So this is what the solution can do realistically at the edge in cabin. And now we are talking about 1 or 2 vehicles, 10 vehicles. Okay, it is very easily solvable. Now imagine a situation when you have 100 vehicles, 500 vehicles, or let's say 1,000 vehicles. Typically, 100 vehicles with good drivers would easily generate such kind of 4,000 to 5,000 videos in a month. Now the next question is what to do with those videos. Do we have the time to go through? Do we have the bandwidth to go through? Because right now our fleet operators, they have multiple other works rather than going through a video and judging or identifying what can be made better. So that is the real problem that we are looking at here. So let's talk about the solution then. So in order to solve it, the first, I would say the approach was to, let's have a control tower. Let's create a Schweitzer. let's have more and more people and analyze the video and then do certain analysis at the back end and figure out a way so that we can try to minimize those incidents in future. And again, in certain cases, since we are talking about AI-related alerts, as you saw in the previous slide, 90% of those alerts in many occasions have been found to be false. Then in that case, we are asking our team or the control tower to go through so much dumb data, probably most of them are not usable or not useful. So what can be the solution for that? The major issue here lies in, as I said, the moment you go from, let's say, 100 vehicle, 500 vehicle, with the control tower setup, there are two catastrophic problems. One is the scalability, next is the quality. Definitely you cannot maintain scalability. If you want to go from 100 to 500, you cannot increase the control tower setup overnight. The second question is quality. There is churn, the employees come and go. So how can I ensure quality if I am dependent on the human effort behind that? So these were the major challenges when it comes to control tower approach. With LightMetrics, we have recently introduced that we call zero FP, zero false positive. In this case, what we are able to do is everything is automated. There is no human angle involved over here so that you get quality solution. You are able to control the quality and scalability, of course. It comes without any issue over here. Let's see how exactly the zero FP works. Primarily, you saw one of the event video over there where the driver was talking on the phone, right? So that kind of AGI-related alerts get captured. It gets pushed to the cloud. The driver gets the alert irrespective of network. And at the cloud level, there is another engine going on which goes through each of the incidents, identifies the severity, plus eliminates the junk. If there is some level of false positives, etc., then it eliminates it even before it puts it in front of the fleet managers. So when your fleet operators are opening up the portal, they are not going to go through the data dump of thousands or millions of the videos. Rather, what they are looking at is which are the top most severe incidents. Let's say you can easily drop down, I want to look at past 14 days data. Then here are the top 10, top 12 most severe videos. Especially, let's say that in mining cases, they are more concerned about the DMS part, not the ADAS part. So let's say they want to see, okay, for drowsiness, how many major incidents have happened in last 14 days. So here is the answer, 5 to 6 videos. You do not have to go through those data dump. Now imagine the kind of effort that we are saving for your team, primarily for fleets. Similarly, kind of value that we are adding over here. So this is what the impact that zero FP brings by eliminating the noise, only the value-based videos that you can see. And similarly, the other things that we also do for the drivers is you do not need to talk to each and every driver. Rather, typical Pareto principle, we identify which are the critical drivers, and here is what can be done to improve those critical drivers' driving performance. So far we have spoken about fleet, but another major part of this ecosystem is definitely the automotive OEMs. So with the new AIS regulations that is coming into picture, and you would have all seen the MORT notification, by 2028, any vehicle in the M2, N2, and N3 and M3 class coming out of OEM's plant, it has to be fitted with similar solutions. Let it be DDAWS, let it be AEB, lane departure, moving of information, et cetera, et cetera. So how the OEMs can cope up with these things, because this should be a major drastic change. Then again, with LightMetrics, which is a proven solution, right now we are live on more than 160,000 vehicles globally, a proven working solution for more than a decade. So with all of these regulations that can be coped with a ready-made solution which is easily scalable. In fact, LightMetrics solution has always gone through, or had already gone through a testing of AR/AI, and there is a case scale of drowsiness, right? Whereas the AIS code demands the minimum rating of 8, lower the better. LightMetrics is already detecting events at 6 and 7 level. So we are way ahead what the AIS demands, and it is already a AR/AI certified or AR/AI tested solution. And of course, club with zero false positive and other aspects, the OEM gets a ready-made solution. Next, from the implementation standpoint, what exactly the OEMs gain from the value point perspective also. So let's talk about the monetization aspect a little bit. Let's say that when you start with one or two models of your vehicles, then definitely there is a huge monetization opportunity. To the fleets, you can directly provide not only the vehicle, people have been talking about connected vehicle and many other things. So you can always provide your platform to work upon. Similarly, from one or two models, when you move to phase two, that is probably you would suggest us to go with your own hardware. In that case, since we are a video telematics platform provider, we are hardware agnostic. We can embed any particular hardware that of your selection. So in that case, you can scale it across your different model of the vehicles, and it is easier to proceed with it from scaling and implementation perspective. Next part, which is most vital, let's talk about the fleets which are your customers. No fleet uses a single OEM's product majorly. There would be 2 or 3 OEM products in any enterprise fleets. If you ask the fleet to use your portal, then again there is a problem because they would say, hey, for your vehicles, I will use your portal. For OEM, another OEM, I would use their portal, and it is a mess for me from operational standpoint. There comes our mixed fleet approach again as a solution, such as, let's say you can always say that for your vehicle, here is the portal that you can use. And for other OEM vehicles, you can always add this as a aftermarket solution, and the data can ping to our solution, right? So in that case, your platform can be applied across different OEM vehicles, providing a single stop solution for the fleets. With this, I would like to conclude the discussion so far. So just to highlight a little bit, we have discussed about how we can add the value to the fleets, how it can be beneficial for the OEM since it is already a proven solution to mitigate the upcoming AIS challenges. And it is good that both all the part of the ecosystem, let it be the government, the auto OEM, and everything is coming together. And it is really a good tipping point to take the solutions and add more and more value across all the customers. So going forward, the solution is not going to be which is the loudest, who provides the loudest alert, or who provides the largest switch stop in terms of an operating center. Rather, the solution would be a scalable, integrable, easy to implement solution such as LightMetrics. We can have more discussions in our booth number 10. Please feel free to drop by and have a discussion with us. Thanks for the attention.